I'm going to be doing some little odds and ends around the classroom, and I wanted to bring you guys along with me and catch you up to what's been happening this school year. Hey everyone, my name is Bridget Spackman. I'm a multi-age teacher in Central Pennsylvania. I teach 4th, 5th, and 6th grade learners across all content areas, and I have a love and passion for ELA, authentic instruction, and rigorous teaching. I wanted to first start this video by thanking Cricut for sponsoring it. I really love Cricut and I've always been a fan of it, so I'm going to be showing you guys some ways that I'm using it inside of my classroom to help make my life a little bit easier, but also my classroom a little bit cuter. So one of the things that we've really been working on for the past couple of weeks is going to be our graphic organizers. So we do a number of these throughout the week. It can be on vocabulary. Well, we do a vocabulary every single week, but we also do things on our writing and our ELA. And I don't know about you guys, but whenever my students are given a graphic organizer, they try to put as little as possible inside of it. So I want to help my students to kind of get their thinking flowing with different guiding questions that might help them in adding more information inside of their graphic organizers, because that's what it's meant to be. It's meant to be a brain dump, but a lot of the times my kids don't really know where to start. So I made these, these are called little think marks. And each think mark has something very specific. Let me turn you guys around. You're gonna see that this one is for citing evidence. So it has different sentence starters for when students are working to cite evidence. This has been a very challenging skill for my 5th graders. And then there's the second part to it, which is gonna be the explaining the evidence. So not only are they pulling the evidence from the text, but they also have to tell how that evidence fits the big idea or the essential question that's being asked. So we have different sentence starters for this. It completely changed my students' graphic organizers and also their writing. So I've been really happy with this. And then we've also started working on setting. So I have a setting graphic organizer to help my students kind of pull information out. So we have the where, the time of the day, the time of the year itself, the weather, the environment, the mood, and it has different things for students to kind of consider as they're thinking about setting, especially as we start working on our personal narratives and students need to be very, very descriptive. Now, normally I teach math. This year, however, I am not teaching math. I'm actually teaching 2 blocks of ELA. So I have a 5th grade ELA block and then I have a 6th grade ELA block. And because I have my students in these lovely desks, they're not, but because we have them inside of these desks, this means that they are sharing a desk with other students. I personally did not want to make 40 something of these think marks. So my students are going to end up sharing them. The ideas are essentially the same. Some students will use some of them, other classes will use like other ones, and it's fine. But I didn't want to make a ton of these. So I wanted to make 1 per desk so that whoever was sitting in that desk could utilize the think mark whenever they needed it. We don't need it every single day, but we do need it sometimes. So one of the things that I am trying to not do is have a ton of stuff inside of the desk. I'll be very honest with you, I hate the desks. I hate the stuff inside of the desks. I hate how cluttered it can be. And so one of the things that I've really focused on is making sure that we don't have a ton. So let me show you what this looks like. So here's one of the desks for my students. You're gonna notice that inside they have a dry erase board, they have a toolbox, and this toolbox will actually, it's my homeroom's toolbox, but this one will actually travel with students throughout the day. So it's not necessarily in there. A lot of the times when my kids come in, I've trained them to where they have their iPad, their book, their toolbox sitting just like that when they walk into my door. But in the afternoons when kids are leaving, my homeroom sticks their toolbox in there. And then we have 2 sets of writer's notebooks, and it's the 2 kids that are inside of my class, so a 5th grade and then also a 6th grade, and that's it. I don't allow them to have anything else. But one of the problems that I'm finding is this is getting thrown all the way in the very back. And I don't want that to happen because I don't want these to get bent up. I could possibly try to use these next year so that I'm not wasting. So my goal is to try to find a better location for this. So here's the solution that I ended up coming up with. So I decided that they were going to hang on the corner of every single desk. It has worked out really well so far. I had a few of these clips here inside of the classroom that I figured I would just try out with these first 2 rows right here. And it's worked fantastic. The kids know exactly how to find them. They know exactly where they are, and it's in arm's reach. So a couple of different things. One, I did not want to put this somewhere on a wall inside of my classroom because I did have that option, and I actually talked with my 6th graders about it because they were my 5th graders last year and I had them like all year. But I didn't want to put it onto a wall because that would cut down on transition times. Kids would have to get up, they would have to kind of put them back, they would have to like make sure that they were back where they were supposed to be. It just was too big of a mess. I want it to be something quick, efficient, and this was a really good and easy way for students to be able to be like, yep, here's my think mark, I'm ready to go, I have it, and we're gonna continuously add to it throughout the year. One of the ones that I need to add to it is gonna be vocabulary, so it has all of the different context clues that we use for vocabulary, and then 6th grade's gonna be adding characters to this very soon as well. So I have those ready, they're cut, they're laminated, they're punched, they're whole, all the 9 yards. So I want to make this to where now all of the different desks in my room have these little clips, and they're all in a nice little spot so that they're not thrown everywhere like as they are right now. Words, Bridget. I'm struggling this morning. Look how nice and neat that is. And I can do a quick scan and notice when one is missing, like right at that desk. I'm gonna get that one out in just a little bit. I think I have it at my desk area, but it looks so good. I love that, and I love that I can see when they're not out. That's gonna take management of these items just a little bit easier for myself. One of the other things that I really have been wanting to do is adding some vinyl labels onto my whiteboard. I don't necessarily use my whiteboard a ton when it comes to instruction purposes, but I use it for other items. And so let me show you. So as you can see over here in this corner, I have kind of the student area. It gives the date, the special that they're having, who's gonna be like my helpers in the afternoon, what the schedule is for the day. And then over here on this side, I have a few little pockets that are holding some paper, and that's mainly for our book talks. So I've used vinyl in before. Actually, I used it right when I first got this classroom, and you can see it right here. It says, "It is our choices that show us what we truly are, far more than our abilities." And that's from an Albus Dumbledore quote, and it's mainly supposed to go with our choice that we have up here, because we really believe in offering choice, but also knowing that we all have choices in how we act. So I placed that up there, but there's a few things that I'm still missing. So I need to have a lunch and breakfast count every day. And last year, I actually stood outside of my classroom to take my lunch and breakfast count because I needed to know who specifically was going to be buying lunch and breakfast. So I had like a little checklist of their names. This year, I don't necessarily need that. I just need to know an overall count, like how many kids in my class are gonna have lunch, how many kids in my class are gonna have breakfast. So I started doing something with tally marks, and I just created a T-chart, like very hodgepodge, just with an expo marker, and would clean it off every day. But now that I know that it works and it's something that I want to continue doing in my classroom, I need to add a breakfast and lunch, like a T-chart that just looks nicer, that I know that I can just wipe off at the end of the day. It's not going to fall off because of magnets, because that's a whole thing. And then I also want to label my book talk area because I think it's a really important area and it's just not highlighted inside of my classroom. The other little area that I want to make a couple of changes to is going to be my 40 book challenge back here in the corner. Now you guys are going to remember I did this inside of a video and it's actually working really well. The kids are doing a great job. Look at them adding all their books to it. We've got some beads for some kids who have finished some genres over here. So they've done a great job so far. The only thing that I really hate about it is that it's too much color. You guys know I just don't love color as much. I'm not a colorful person. It's just not me. So one of the things that I wanted to do was to kind of minimize how busy this looks, like all of that up here. I wanted to minimize that by adding in some vinyl. So instead of having the 6th grade here, the 5th grade here, I'm going to take those off and replace it with a really nice black vinyl because I think it's just gonna look great. And then it's like this added other feature, different texture, different all the things. And I think that really enhances the way something looks. So not only am I trying to be useful, guys, but I am also trying to make my classroom look a little bit better. It's been feeling a little much lately. So let's go ahead. We're gonna make the vinyl for all of these and then get them posted up in my classroom. So I am using the Cricut Explore 3. It is a beautiful mint color, and I don't think it's coming out. And this camera is not giving this any justice. But it is a fantastic device and that can cut loads of different types of materials. So you can do paper, cardstock, vinyl, and it just has the ability to really make your life so much easier so that you're not spending a ton of time cutting things out. So one of the things that I love this feature. Cricut, bravo. I don't know why this makes me so happy, but it definitely does. So I have all my little tools that I might be using over here. You have scissors, you have your little spatula, which is gonna come in handy, and all the things that you could possibly need right here in this spot. So I love that feature. But it's very easy to use, so you can just hit the button to open it up, and it's like it's saying hello to you. Hi. I'm ready. Okay, so it's very easy to be able to use. I've already downloaded and used the Cricut Design Space, which is this little app that you kind of see down here. It's already been downloaded onto my computer, and I've already made my project. So you're gonna see here that my project has already been saved. So I can click on my project, and then I can hit customize. So it's customize or make it. I'm not ready to make it yet. I'm just gonna show you what this looks like in this design space. So here's kind of what I have so far. So I have breakfast, I have lunch, I have book talks, which is gonna be in a kind of cursive font. And then I did add in a swirly little arrow here. These lines are going to make up my T-chart that I need. And then of course, 5th and 6th grade that you guys can see here. Now to make this so much easier, it's nice because it's a very easy application to be able to use. I could click on my specific word that I have here, and just to copy and paste it, I can just kind of follow the normal keys that I know for copying and pasting, and it automatically does it. So I have this ready, but you're gonna notice that it's a really, really long, a lot of material, and it's very long. So I'm going to be using the Smart Vinyl from Cricut, and what I love about this is that it is really long. You're going to see here that it's 3 feet in length, but I don't have to use a mat when I'm using the Smart Vinyl. So I have that, and then I also have the Cricut roll holder that is going to allow me to place my vinyl in here so that it can automatically feed it through and cut all of this material all in one shot, which is fantastic for me because that's gonna save me a ton of time. So let's go ahead, I'm gonna get everything loaded up, and then we're gonna cut this bad boy. So you're gonna notice that right here, I have my vinyl placed inside, and then there's like a little feeding area right here that I'm going to place my vinyl through. Now this is a cutter. I'm gonna go ahead and lock it into position so it doesn't cut my vinyl by accident. And then I'm going to feed it just by pushing it gently through. And then you're gonna notice it comes out right here at the very top. And this is gonna be where I feed that inside of my Cricut. So I have the material ready to go. The Cricut is on just by simply pressing the button. And now I'm gonna come over to my design space, and I'm gonna click Make It up in the corner. So here it's gonna ask me how I'm gonna be loading it. I'm gonna be doing it without the mat because I am using smart materials, as you can kind of see here. So I'm gonna click on that and then hit done. So here you're gonna see where it has all of the different areas that I'm going to be cutting. So it kind of groups all of those different materials, and I can just kind of review my artwork here. And then it's going to ask me which of these materials I'm using. So I'm gonna click on the material that I'm using, which is the Smart Vinyl, the permanent. I'm gonna ensure that I have all of these tools, everything loaded. So it really does walk you through it, which is really helpful. One of the things to consider as it's cutting is that you do want to make sure that you have plenty of space on the back end so that when it's cutting those really long materials with the Smart Roll, that it doesn't interfere and get stuck in the back. So this one is going to go ahead and work and do its thing. You can see it does it so quickly. You can even see there that it's cutting out. Ooh, you're not going to be able to tell. So I'm going to let it do its work, and then we're going to post it up inside of the classroom. The thing that I love so much about having this Smart roll holder is that it comes in with that built-in cutter. So now that it has finished up my cutting for the vinyl, I'm going to go ahead and just pull out the material, and then I'm going to be able to give it a nice clean cut across so that I can continue using the rest of the material that I have. I have a meeting that I have to go to in just a few minutes, and I need to get this posted up for my students. So I'm going to be showing you guys how easy it is to be able to post vinyl into your classroom using the transfer tape that Cricut also has. It's really nice because those guidelines help you a ton to ensuring everything is straight. So I'm going to show you what the lunch count looks like afterwards, and then we're going to post up the 5th and 6th grade a little bit later on this afternoon. But right now I've got to go and teach, so wish me luck. It's the end of the day, and I am so unbelievably happy that it is finally the end of the day. Today, it was not horrible. It never really is. I think my patience with talking is just super thin this week, and we've been very, very chatty this week. So it is now the end of the day. I wanted to show you guys what the front board looks like. I have already added some of the vinyl cuttings that I did a little bit earlier, and I really like how it came out. So let me head on over there and show you guys what it looks like. You're gonna notice that down here I have lunch and breakfast. It's very short because the kids typically just kind of do tally marks here and here. So now they can just add their tallies there, and I can just wipe it clean at the end of the day, and it just stays absolutely perfect. I did put one up here for overdue work, so students are going to have their names on there for Tuesdays and Thursdays when we have win time versus our morning meeting. And that's just going to be helpful for me to be like on top of it, but then for them as well to kind of take that, take it on themselves to just see that they have something due and be able to get that done. And then on this side, I have my book talk section. This is my favorite section. So I added the book talks up here, which is in the cursive font. I have the little arrow, and then you're gonna notice that we have our sign-up sheets for both grade levels. So this one is for 6th grade, and then this one is for 5th grade. Now 5th grade isn't going to start doing their own until November. Right now I have been modeling it for them so that they're prepared in the month of November. But because I had 6th grade last year, they are totally ready to go and they can start signing things up. So all I did was go through my calendar and added the dates that I know for a fact that we can have book talks on. And then the students will be able to sign up and just put their names in those sections. And then off on the side are going to be all of the book talk material. So I have these little magnetic pockets. Down at the bottom, I have my book talk rubric. We have a storyboard. So this is for when students want to make a little movie trailer. So a book trailer is what I was thinking of. So it has some things there for them to kind of complete. And add that back in there. There we go. And then up here at the very top is going to be the standard book talk template. So this one will kind of guide them through. They will turn this in, I will look over it, and then that will confirm their date that they're ready to go. And then these are going to be little book reviews that can be inserted into a book. So when a student completes one of these, they will then take a book. I'm just going to use this one as an example. They will take the book, they will place this inside of the book like so, and then they will place it up here just like that. So then if a student wants to come and look at it and see what the book review is, they can just open it up, read it, and then place it right back. So I love this little corner. It looks so nice. I love how it came out. And I just love how simple this is because there is a lot that's going on over here in this corner. And if I would have used something else other than vinyl, it really would have felt like an overload. So the vinyl just kind of simplifies things, and I think it just makes it look really nice. So before we move on to us doing this back part of the classroom, I wanted to share this with you guys because it's so cool. So right now we are working on food webs inside of our classroom. We're talking about consumers, decomposers, omnivores, carnivores, all the things, and food webs, food chains. And so we decided to do a little investigation. And so we have some friends. Let me show you guys what it looks like. Basically what we've done is we have a tub here, and the tub has various layers. So one of the first layers that the tub has is going to be some soil. Then we have leaves and grass, then more soil, then fruit and veggie scraps, and then more soil, and then a little bit of eggshells, and then a little bit more soil. And then we added our friends today. Look how big those guys are. They are huge. So each group has 5 of them. We are going to be making observations over the next week and a half to 2 weeks with them to see what ends up happening with them and decomposition and what that looks like. So very excited to have our friend. Look at that guy. Go ahead, you burrow away. So we just added those in today, and the kids were really excited. So we've been working over the last 2 or 3 days now. I don't know. What day is it? I don't even know. But we've been working for a little bit on trying to get those together, making observations, talking about what that means to make observations. So it's been really, really fun. And now I feel like we can start kind of bringing down our level of excitement. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it was still very much worth it. Okay, so now I only have 2 more things to make changes with on the back, and that's going to be with our 40 book challenge. And so I wanted to use vinyl to be able, ooh, that was probably really loud for you guys, to be able to change out where it says 5th grade and 6th grade and use vinyl there just to kind of help simplify. I feel like it's a little loud because there's a lot of colors, a lot of things going on back there. And I think it'll just make it look nice. So I'm going to show you guys how I use the transfer tape that comes with Cricut to be able to just make it nice and straight. So this has been cut out. I've removed the excess. There were a bunch of other things on here, but obviously all of those are kind of put up now. So these are the only 2 things left. I'm going to use the transfer tape to help take it off of this mat and be able to put it on to the wall. So let's do that together. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to eyeball about how many grids. So I'm going to be able to cut right about here to make 2 separate pieces, which is what I'm going to do now. So using my scissors, I'm just going to go all the way across. I don't have to make this part super straight. Some people might be a little bit different than me. I'm not a huge perfectionist, so I don't typically stress with this. So I'm going to remove the backing on this, and then from there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make it straight. So here you can kind of, I don't know if you can see that. There are some grid lines. You see if you can see the grid. You see the grid lines on my hands? There it is. There's the grid lines. So there's some grid lines. I'm going to try to make it as straight as possible going across. So I use one of the lines to help me make sure that this is fairly straight. And you can remove it, so don't feel panicky if it doesn't go straight automatically. Now, unfortunately, I think I left one of my favorite tools, which kind of helps you to make this stick at home. So I'm just going to use my spatula. That's probably not the best thing, but I am. So I'm going to put my finger here, and then I'm just going to rub it on so that when I take it off, it's going to adhere to the transfer tape. Again, probably not the best tool for this. I have one, but I think it fell out when I was bringing all my stuff to school today. All right, so now I think I can go ahead and remove it. You can see that it's coming off fairly easy. I have one of these that shouldn't be coming off. There it goes. sometimes you can guide some of the letters also, or numbers or whatever it is, the vinyl to come off with it. And there I have it. Okay, so I'm going to make sure remove this part. This is gone. And now we're going to place this fairly straight. I'm going to push this down just a little bit. Okay. I'm not going to push it all the way on because I want to make sure it's straight, so I'm going to step back just a little bit. Once I feel pretty good about it, I'm going to go ahead and push it on, smooth it out. And then gently lift this off. Ah, look how good that looks. Oh, so nice. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing with this tape. And look at that. That has made such a huge difference in just how busy everything looks back here. Because as you can see, there's a lot that's happening on this poor wall back here because I don't have a ton of space in this classroom with all my cabinets and stuff. So we have our 40 book challenge. The kids are gonna continue adding on to it. That looks so much better. It doesn't look as busy. I love the way it looks. Oh, so nice. Now I gotta be totally honest. I was gonna do one more thing inside of this classroom because it's bugging me, but I'm exhausted and I just need to go home. So I don't think I'm gonna touch it today, but I am gonna tell you what it is. So I don't like desks. I've already said it in this video. I will probably say it multiple times because I genuinely do not like them. But one of the things that I don't love about them is the fact that they have a tendency to shift and move, and the kids will like move things. And it's weird because there are certain things that I feel like I'm very particular about, and having straight desks in the lines that I have put for them is one of them. And they just start to shift and it just bugs me. So last year, what I started doing is I started using masking tape to create these little L shapes on the front two legs. Let me show you what that looks like. So right here, here's one of the desks, and here are the little L shapes that I've placed on to the very front. So basically what kids would do is they would shift it to where the legs would fit perfectly where that L shape is going to be. The problem with that is that the tape is coming off, and it's coming off very easily, which is incredibly frustrating because it does take a lot of time to sit there and cut the tape and put it back where it needs to go. And it's just frustrating in general that I'm constantly having to change them and place more tape onto the floor. So I've done masking tape, and obviously that's not working. I've done duct tape. That definitely does not work. So one of the things that came to mind is something called gaff tape, which is this. Gaff tape is actually something that people will use who deal with videos or audio equipment. They will use it to tape down any form of cord so that people are not tripping. So anytime somebody's recording something, it's like what big, huge, like, I don't know, like not even huge, but like video and audio people will use this quite often. And so my husband had gotten some. This is like a knockoff version of gaff tape, and then we have the real version of gaff tape. And so I asked him if I could come bring it to my classroom to try it out. And I have tried it out on a few different desks. And so far, all except one little piece for the desks that I have put it on is working. So my goal is to go through my classroom and replace all of the tape with this gaff tape here, just to see if maybe it'll last a little bit longer. I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe like next month, I'm gonna come back and be like, nope, nothing works. I'm just gonna have to deal with the chaos. We're gonna find out. But this is gonna be where I'm ending this video, guys. So if you wanna learn more about the Cricut Explore 3, I love that machine. Love it. Definitely go and check it out. I'm going to leave some links down in the description box for you, along with some of the other add-on items that I definitely have and am using inside of this classroom. And then anything else that I've mentioned that I remember to put into the description box, I'm also going to add that in there. So be sure to go and check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and also supporting. And thank you again to Cricut for supporting this channel and sponsoring this video. And I will see you guys all next time. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.